We'll make sure that we are in fact live.
Okay, we are now live.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right.
I think we're live anyways.
Yep.
Guess we can double check on the page real quick, huh?
Always a good thing.
Always a good thing to make sure.
We didn't have anything, so that way we're not all of a sudden getting halfway through it. Except when you need to find something, you sit here and scroll through everything because you can't find what the hell you're looking for.
Oh my God.
All right, let's see here. Yep, we are
We're live.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Jump on. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and kick things off. So everybody, my name is Andrew Drawn. You probably know me as the Director of Content here at Elite Marketing Pro, and I am joined by Whit and Cari Higham, who are two of our top affiliates within the community.
Yes.
And so welcome, guys. You guys actually just got back from a trip, so welcome home.
Thank you.
Hard jumping back into things, to be honest. It was, Cari was sad the whole way home. It was kind of like counseling. She slept a lot, you know, just trying, the sadness of leaving Disney.
Yeah.
He's still wearing his Forky shirt. He's so sad.
Oh, that's
Zero forks given, guys. Zero forks given.
Well, and what's awesome is that there was a time not too long ago where taking the vacation you guys took would have been inconceivable. And so I know that's something we want to dive into absolutely today. So for those of you who aren't aware, I feel like probably most of you guys know that we're doing something really cool right now. Let me give you guys a close look. Currently, I think there are only about 5 of these in existence. But come tomorrow, there will be thousands of these shipping out all around the country, all around the world. Mm-hmm. And I really hope that if you're watching this, you're going to be one of these people, because your opportunity to grab a free copy, totally free.
Free.
You gotta pay,
Can't beat free.
Little asterisk, just got to pay shipping, right? Shipping and handling. But to grab your free copy, your opportunity expires tonight at midnight Eastern time. So you still have a few hours left, but I want to highly, highly recommend that you strongly consider taking us up on this incredible offer to get a free copy. So before we dive into magnetic sponsoring, what it is, what it's all about, and some of the really game-changing material that you can learn in there that's revolutionized the networking industry over the, I think at first, I believe it was 2005, 2006 is when the first copies of these were being printed at Kinko's by Mr. Mike Dillard himself, and being shipped out also by Mr. Mike Dillard in manila envelopes. But before we get all the way back there, I'd love to dive into, what's really cool is to see, if you really want to understand the impact that this material, the concept of attraction marketing has had on the industry. There's really, I love talking to Whit and Cari because their story is phenomenal. And I literally cannot think of a better example of contrasting old school methods with new school methods, because you guys have done them both.
Yes.
You guys have done them, to the extreme. And so I'd love for you guys to take us back to, the days of literally driving the wheels off your car, and the kind of, commitment and dedication that you had to the industry, and the links that you were going to build your business and build your team. And, I know everyone, I think a lot of people in the community probably heard this story, but I never tire of hearing it, because it's such an awesome story. And I know that we have some new folks joining us. So let's dive in, guys. Take us back, which really wasn't that long ago, but take us back.
Okay, awesome. So before we do that, anybody who's watching, if you're watching and it's not live, give us a hashtag replay and continue to engage with us, because we'll be coming back in, Andrew ourselves, we'll be coming back in, and we'll get back to your comments shortly. But if you're watching and it is live, make sure you let us know where you're watching from. We want to give some shout outs here as we go. So make sure you let us know. And let us know if you got your copy of Magnetic Sponsoring. If you got it, just drop a got it in the comments so that we know that you got it. Okay.
Tom got his. What's up, Chris?
All right, I'm gonna be watching.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So it's kind of funny that, we're doing this interview right after we just got back from, we've been for the last week and a half on vacation with our boys. And our family.
12 days we were gone.
12 days we were gone hanging out with them, which was great. Because we actually made a promise to them that if they let us work for the next 90 days, like just working, getting stuff done, because we've been doing different things inside of our team and stuff like that, was and even, you know, getting our ads, you know, up and going and different things like that. We were spending a lot of time, and so we made him a promise that, hey, we're going to do something special for you guys if you just let us work. And they did. And I remember our 6-year-old coming up to us multiple times. He's like, have you guys met? Like, did you guys do it? Did you hit
your goal?
Did you hit your goal? Is what he kept asking. And we got really, really close to it. And so we, you know, added a few more days that weren't necessarily planned right at the beginning. And just last minute, we said, hey, let's do it. And let's take them on that. And so really, if we're going to take you back, this is actually just right before we jumped into network marketing. Me and Cari were taking our boys on basically to Disney. So it was actually our Kate's our oldest, who's 6 now. He was 6 months old at the time when we were going to Disneyland for the first time. And to kind of give you guys an idea of where we were at the time, I was working multiple jobs, morning and night. I would drive truck in the morning. I would get up about 4 in the morning, drive truck, and then I would come home, and I would throw packages at UPS from about 6 o'clock until about 10 p.m. at night. And so at the time, we didn't have a ton of money because there was a long time that I didn't have a job in between that everything kind of got flipped upside down. And so we were actually just trying to stay in our house at the time.
And it was Whit's family who was planning this Disney vacation. And we went to him and we're like, we can't go. We don't have the money. So it was actually his mom who paid for us to go to Disney.
Paid for our food and stuff. Because here's the thing, like, I remember we had a 2010 Mazda 6. And guys, it was like the basic of things. The only thing power in it was the motor and the windows. That was it. Power locks, didn't have those. I had to lock all those by hand. Trunk with a key, all that stuff. Like, it was the basic model you could get. And I remember driving down there and I was like, my tires are so bald, there's no way that I'd make it to California driving there. So I remember having to go to a shop, and I had mismatching tires on all 4 of them. I didn't have a single same tire on my car driving down to California. One had more tread than the other. One had less tread. I just needed enough tread to get me down there. And I remember getting to about Vegas, and we'd already spent all the money that we had already to Vegas, just in food and stuff like that. And so that's when my mom stepped in and said, hey, we'll pay for your food. Just come down. We'll take care of it and stuff like that. And then shortly after that, actually a couple months later, is when Brandy reached out to us and kind of got us started into network marketing. And so,
and she's on with us. Hello, Brandy.
Hey, Brandy. So shortly after that is when we jumped into network marketing. Actually, just a couple months after that, we jumped into network marketing, and we were hardcore. We were hardcore network marketers. Like, we immediately got home meetings started. I mean, we were inviting people to a home meeting every single week. We contacted everybody we knew probably within the first couple weeks.
Our first 6 months, we talked to hundreds of people.
If not thousands.
Well, maybe not 1,000 quite yet.
I would.
Hundreds of people in those first 6 months.
She has her feeling. I have my feeling.
But we recruited 0 people in that amount of time. And like I said, like Whit said, we were hardcore. Like, I was making anybody, if you were on my friends list on Facebook, I had you on a list. If we came into contact with you, you were put on our list, and we got your number. We were really good at getting people's information.
I was getting numbers from the route that I was driving. So every convenience store that I was delivering product to, I was getting the workers' numbers. I was getting, just people friends that I had seen walk in. I was talking to them, getting numbers, you name it. We were hardcore network marketers because that's what we were told we had to do in order to make this work. And we believed it.
And so at the end of 6 months, when we had recruited no people, we went to our upline and we're like, what are we doing wrong? Like, what, why isn't this working? And he's all like, you're not talking to the right people. You need to go where the people are. Well, we come from the same little teeny town in the middle of Utah, less than 5,000 people. We know all the same people. And so we're like, okay, we've got to start going into bigger areas and cold prospecting. So we were driving up to Salt Lake, which is about 2 hours away. We were driving down to Vegas, which is about a 5-hour drive, 4.5 to 5 hour drive. With a baby, it's about 5.5 hours. And we were doing that once a week, where we were heading down to Vegas on the weekends. And then we were driving up to Salt Lake every day during that, just getting numbers, prospecting at malls, Walmart, Starbucks, you name it. If there was a crowd of people and you couldn't run, and we were there prospecting the strip. Like, if you, like, we were just there. We were just in Vegas for the last No Excuses Summit. And we're walking, we were with Fernie and we were walking through the strip and Fernie was all like, is it different now that you don't have to prospect every single person that you come into contact with?
Prospecting people in front of the Bellagio as the fountains are going off and stuff like that. And guys, yes, I did use my baby who was less than a year old at the time just to get people to stop because everybody wanted to comment on a cute baby. So like, cute baby. And I'm like, funny thing. Do you keep your options open when it comes to seriously, that's the way it was. And we were really good at leveraging and getting into conversation, and we could get anybody's number.
We were really, really good at starting a conversation and getting someone and having someone give us their information so that we could call them that week.
Yep.
We would not leave Vegas until we had a minimum of 50 numbers.
Yep.
That was the thing. And then we would call them all through the week while we were driving up to Salt Lake.
And prospecting.
Thousands of people that we talked to in about an 18-month period after that. And we had recruited, how many did we recruit?
I think out of everybody, because we took our strategy online a little bit in work from home groups and yard sale groups, posting work from home opportunity and this and that. And we only ended up enrolling 2 people out of all of that. One of them is actually still with us, actually, believe it or not. Disappeared for a little while and then came back.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The other one, have no idea where she is, that fell off the face of the earth. I don't know. But that's kind of what it looked like for us for the first 2.5 years of network marketing.
Yep. So I'm curious, anybody who's watching, have you ever done that? Were you ever like that extreme where you were driving hundreds of miles, wearing out the tires on your car? Maybe you were prospecting people at Walmart, Starbucks, maybe you were cold calling your warm market where you were talking to family members that you hadn't talked to in years just to get them to take a look at your opportunity. If that was you, drop a 1 in the comments because it's frustrating. You're doing everything that you're told to do.
We're getting some sadly yes.
Yeah, you're doing everything that you're told to do. You go to, people who have had success, and the only advice that they can really give you is you're not talking to the right people.
Or enroll more people.
Or you need to go find 5 more.
Yep.
Go find 5 more, right? That's the answer to everything.
Yep. And guys, we spent 2.5 years doing that and hardcore, and it wasn't like we slacked off or anything like that. We have people that can back us up on that. We actually had an upline at one point come to us and said, I don't understand the reason you guys haven't quit yet.
Yep. Why are you still here?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Why are you guys still doing this? If I was you guys, I would have gave up a long time ago. And I remember thinking to myself, I was just like, what scared me more though is I was driving for Pepsi at the time. That scared me more of coming to the realization that I was going to be doing that the rest of my life. And so it was kind of that driving force. And I only knew how to do one thing, which was find more people. And so I had this strong belief that if I did that long enough, I would find the so-called rock star, right? That everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
The one that's that one person that's going to change your business. And believe me, we'd come across a few of those that we did enroll that were like, oh my God, this is it. And then it didn't work. And then they just disappeared too. And so we spent a lot of time doing that. And guys, our car went through hell going through that. We hit a lot of animals along the way, sadly. Yep. Luckily, a couple of them had been run over. We just kind of...
We ran over them again.
We ran over them again because nobody pulled them out of the road.
Took the entire under shield off of our car.
When we were building down in Arizona, so a place that we were building was 5 hours away from us, and we'd drive down there at least a couple times a week after I'd get off work, and then on weekends we actually ended up sleeping in like a tent. We brought a tent down there with us every weekend with our baby. He slept between us, and we'd go and work with this team down in Arizona. And the one night heading home, somebody had hit a deer and left it in the road, and it was dark, and so I hit it again, and it completely just destroyed my car, the front part of my car, all this stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, like, the car's already beat up, and I pull over off the side of the road, and this highway patrolman comes and pulls up behind me. He's like, what seems to be a problem? I'm like, I got this plastic piece that's hanging down. I just need to be able to wire it up. So in my brain, I'm like, this is the only car I got. I got to save as much of this as I possibly can to make it work. And he's all, oh, I'll take care of that. And he lays down on the ground and just rips the whole bottom part of my car off, the plastic piece. And I was just like,
I was trying to save
I was
that.
trying to say that, sir. Like this is all that I got. This is how I'm going to build my team. And towards the end of that, I remember me and Cari kind of coming to that conclusion of, this isn't going to work for us. Like here we're being taught that this is what other people are going to do. If you guys do it, you guys be the leader. Other people are going to follow suit and duplicate.
And we look back at that, and no one was going to be willing to duplicate that. Nobody willing to duplicate that. And it showed, right? It was externally verifiable because people would get in and they'd be like, these people are crazy. I'm not doing this. And they would leave.
Yep.
And so what is duplicatable, right? That's what we would ask ourselves. There has to be something better. And building online, we knew that was the way we needed to go. And in January of 2016, I looked at Whit and I'm like, you've got to figure out how to do this online to where I don't have to leave my kids, to where I'm not driving anywhere to do any meetings, or I'm out. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore until you figure it out. And
I kept it pretty hidden from Cari though. And a lot of people I was done too. Like, I was still there. I wanted it to work. She had mentally and physically checked out. I had pretty much done the same thing, but I wanted to give it one last hoorah in January 2016. And I did 150 meetings in 1 month, working a full-time job from 5 o'clock in the morning until about 2 in the afternoon. Then I'd jump in my car. And I was setting up meetings like crazy on the route that I was driving, just setting up meetings, getting in my car, driving back to the area that I was doing that in. Sometimes it was an hour and a half drive just to get to meetings, and I'd try to do as many as I can. So I ended up doing about 150 meetings roughly in January of 2016 and signed up 0 people. And so I realized really quickly that like there was something that I was missing. I had no idea what it was. I had the feeling that, I'm missing a piece, that I can't get people from point A to point B like I want them to, even though they like me, we have a great conversation. I couldn't get them to move forward no matter what I did or what I said or what I changed or anything like that.
There was no influence there.
Yep.
There was no influence.
Yep.
It was just people having a conversation. When the time came to actually do business, no one wanted to do business with us because maybe there was a like factor, but there was no trust. There was not the trust or the influence that was there enough to actually get them to want to work with us.
And, we're getting a lot of people commenting, James, he said we ended up with one person. She was a nanny. I think she only came because we bought lunch for everyone too. So basically they showed up for the food. That's like a church event. Let's see here. We got unfortunately, James, they said that they took a ferry to find people and do a hotel meeting and Starbucks meetings and stuff like that. And so I think there's a lot of people that can kind of relate to that, where maybe not necessarily to the extent that me and Cari did, but guys, I literally had a fear that I was going to end up driving a truck for Pepsi for the rest of my life. Like, and I remember to the point, like, I wouldn't say necessarily I was depressed, but I was just like, holy crap, like this is the life I've got to accept now. Like this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be scrounging. I'm going to be trying to make more money all the time. I'm going to be, maybe I'll live with my parents long enough. They'll die and they'll just give me the house at that point. Like that's kind of where I was. And I was not willing to give up. And so, it was great that we had me, Cari, and Brandy, that we did work together, and we were able to really kind of keep each other going through the whole part, because we would all have like these sessions together of, oh my hell, like this isn't working. Like
people are stupid. No one sees this the way we do.
We have plenty of these sessions where it's just like throw your hands in the air and stuff like that. And luckily we stayed curious enough because we wanted to find a way to build it. And that's when in about February of 26. So, February and March of 2016, February I think is when we bought Attraction Marketing Formula.
Yeah. And we discovered Attraction Marketing and how it's so different, right? How it's all online, but it's a completely different way to build.
Yep.
And it's cool because the attraction marketing industry is all derived from magnetic sponsoring.
Yep. That's where it all started.
That's where it all started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys can, I know a lot of people, obviously in the comments, can relate to some elements of your story. And even though my story, even though my story is quite different, I can absolutely relate to being at a point in my life where I just couldn't I knew there was other stuff out there. I just couldn't figure out I had no roadmap. It was like, I don't know how to get something different out of my circumstance. It's like, is this it? Like, I can't see another avenue to accomplish anymore. But what's cool is, of course, there is a better way. There is attraction marketing.
Yes.
So even though you guys were first exposed to attraction marketing formula, which is of course Fernie's book, back in, like I said, 2005, 2006 is when magnetic sponsoring came out, revolutionized the industry. This is of course where Fernie was exposed to the concept of attraction marketing. This is really what brought a lot of these concepts of online marketing and positioning, branding, influence, all of these kind of things to the online networking arena. And there's kind of a, there's a thing I've noticed that we can probably even clarify a bit too, because a lot of people have a misconception about what attraction marketing is. They think it's a lot of times taking the old school stuff and just doing it online, doing it on Facebook. And it's like, oh, hey, that's the new school way of doing it, right? It's attraction marketing if it's on Facebook. And unfortunately, no, that is not the case. That is not the case. You guys had a great thing going to Baby though. So every time I hear this story, I get like different little insights. And I love how, you know, the baby element, you know, there is a very magnetic quality there, which I love. So kudos.
Yeah.
That was great. But real quick, I want to plug again. So if you guys are just joining us, here's what's going on. Magnetic sponsoring, the book that has been around since 2005, 2006. I actually wish I had my original copy to show you guys. So this one right here, like I said earlier, there are only about 5 of these in existence at the moment, but there are about to be a whole lot more. There are about to be thousands of these going out tomorrow, actually, is when the order goes off to the printer. And then folks will start receiving them shortly thereafter. And I really hope that you, if you're watching, if you haven't already gotten your copy, really hope that you pick this up. It's free. All you have to do is pay shipping. And this is, of course, the revised and expanded. You can get, this is my older copy, right? This is the pre-revision, and I wish I had one of the originals. A lot of folks have like the original copy. I don't actually have mine. I lost it somewhere along the way. I was able to find actually an old Building on a Budget, which is one of our old products, and from 2009. So I've got a few things that survived over the years, but I can't find my my original copy. But yeah, guys, magnetic sponsoring. Like I said, there's the hardback, and then here is the revised and expanded. You can go to magneticsponsoring.com. So magneticsponsoring.com, and you can pick up your copy. And again, these are going to start shipping out very, very soon. So guys, let's talk about how the concepts and how attraction marketing just totally changed the way that you guys do business, and how that, you know, the incredible impact that's had, you know, on your life and your lifestyle. And it's just, I mean, you know, it's night and day, right?
Yeah,
yes, it definitely is. And I love what you said about how, you know, some people, they think that, oh, I've taken my business online to Facebook, or I'm using social media now, but they've just taken their offline and what they were doing traditionally, and they've moved it online, right? Where they're still sending messages to strangers. Every person that has a profile, you're trying to get your opportunity in front of. That's not attraction marketing.
Yep. And
it's not magnetic sponsoring.
And a lot of that's being sold as attraction marketing. That's the way it's being sold as. Yeah. You know, it's basically taking everything that you did and put a new cover over it and just call it something different. And it's funny because, you know, when you don't know any different, because you don't really know what attraction marketing is, when somebody calls it something and then all of a sudden you're just like, okay, this is what it is. This is what they're telling me to do. So this must be what it is. That's kind of what me and Cari kind of figured out on our own when we were trying to build our business online. Is we had a hint of, hey, there's a way to get massive exposure, but we didn't understand the attraction marketing piece. We just were throwing content out there with buy my stuff, join my team type stuff, and we thought that, oh my God, like this is going to work out great. Like who wouldn't want to do this? And then come to realize that we were pushing all of those people away because there was no curiosity. And sadly enough, there's a ton of network marketers out there right now that are still under the belief that attraction marketing or magnetic sponsoring is, well, I'm online now, so if I just share my stuff, that's what it is. And that's not the case.
No.
So we figured that out.
Yeah. And it was actually at one of the very first events that we went to, our first attraction marketing event, actually, where we had a conversation with one of our own mentors, someone that I had listened to on CD, all those drives down to Vegas, we had listened to this person and we had a chance to just, to talk to him for about 5 minutes. And we're like, for someone who's starting out, what's the biggest piece of advice you can give? And he said, go out for the next 6 months and just provide value to your audience. Don't worry about whether or not people are going to buy anything from you. That's what he told us. He's like, for the next 6 months, everything that you do on social media, it's all about helping another person in whatever area or niche that you're in. Yep. You're not worrying about whether or not people buy from you. And it was funny because him telling us that's what we did. We went out, we're like, okay, we're not going to worry about a paycheck here for the next 6 months, right? Like, we're just going to go and provide as much valuable content as we can to our audience. And we're going to start growing an audience. And by providing that value, literally less than 90 days later, we sponsored our very first 6-figure earner into our team. Yep. Our residual check was $80 at the time, and we recruited a 6-figure earner. And it's because when you lead with value and you care more about people and helping people get to where they want to be than you do about your own pocket, it's like you become a magnet, right? Like, you're a magnet to all these people. Magnetic sponsoring, attraction marketing. You start to attract people to you. Yep. And it's just by that one thing of leading with value. So what is value? I like to, when I sit down and I'm doing a post or I'm doing a Facebook Live, or even Whit too, we'll ask ourselves, what's one thing that we might share today that will leave our perfect prospect in a better place than where they were before they saw our post or before they saw that Facebook Live? And by doing that, we've started to grow an audience of laser targeted people that are already interested in what we have. So it's not just about the number of leads. It's about the quality of people that you have seeing your stuff. And then those quality people, you're building influence over those people so that you are like a magnet. Yep. Those people are attracted to you.
Yeah, and one of the things that we learned is, because when we started, we kind of asked the question, well, like, what do we have of value? We have $80 residually. We haven't really sponsored a whole lot of people. Like, where's the credibility? And I know a lot of people, as they go online, this is what they think about. And this is what we thought about. But the one thing that never stopped us is when that individual told us, just focus on providing value. I just took a look at ourselves and what we were good at. We were good at talking with people. I knew how to get into conversation with people. That is a skill set that can be online or offline, attraction marketing or old school. How do you talk to people? So what did I do on my, when Facebook Live started to come out? We just started doing that, like, hey, here's how to talk to people better. Like, we just started sharing things that we were really, really good at, until we started to learn some of the attraction marketing principles through attractionmarketing.com. And when we started to do that, we just started to change kind of our tune a little bit as we started to learn more and more and more.
As we watched Daily Dose of Awesomes, like what we're doing right now, we would, what did we learn from it? It would be like, okay, what did we take from that Daily Dose of Awesome? We're going to go share it with our own audience in our own words.
Let's do a Facebook Live.
Let's do a Facebook Live.
Or whatever. And so that's kind of what it looked like. And because we didn't let that kind of stop us, because I know a lot of people, as they get on, it's almost like a worry of, well, who's going to listen to me? What kind of content do I need to post? We didn't let that. We just kind of just started throwing stuff out there, and we pivoted along the way to make it better. That's all we did. And so, like Cari said, 3 months into it, we found our first 6-figure earner. And at that time, we were starting to learn a lot of the automation pieces to it. So how to use Facebook advertising, how to walk people through a process to really pre-qualify these people to have conversations. And then about 8 months in is when we had our first $10,000 month in our business. And so that would have been November of 2016 is when we had our first $10,000 month. Would have been November, I would believe, in 2016. And so now, moving forward from that point, it's just kind of it's changed dramatically, because everybody that I have a conversation with, everybody that I've enrolled in or that we've enrolled in our team over the last 3 to 4 months, it's all been through a pre-qualified process, meaning that everybody that's got on a call with me or anybody that's reached out to me, they have went through a process. So that way, when I had the conversation, it was immediately like, I'm ready to join. I'm ready to join. I'm ready to join. It hasn't been me chasing them. It hasn't me been driving to the meeting. It hasn't been me trying to convince them to join. They already knew, like, and trusted me right when they got on the call. It was just a matter of, where can I sign up? And so that's how we've been enrolling people now, using this strategy, is because we actually have a process that we can pre-qualify everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We can do what we need to do. Guys, I haven't done a single home meeting in 3 years. Okay.
Nope.
I haven't done a hotel meeting in 3 years. And
we went to Disneyland and I didn't have to worry about prospecting people in line.
Yeah. We just got to hang out. And the cool thing is we had a great week last week.
Our business grew while we were gone.
Our business grew a lot while we were gone, and we weren't even a part of it. You know, our systems did the work. And so, you know, that's the beauty of what we've been able to learn through this is now, you know, we live life on our terms. I'm not worried about having to drive a truck. And, you know, we live very, very comfortably because of the systems that we have in place. Does that mean that it kind of stops? Absolutely not. We want to keep progressing in what we know, but yeah, I mean, this last time at Disneyland versus where it was 5-6 years ago, I didn't have to worry about. I was able to help people, you know, as you know, I was able to help family out this time that maybe were in kind of a tight situation, so they could go, and I didn't even have to worry about it. It was just we're in a position now because of what we've learned through attraction marketing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So yeah, and I just want to reiterate, it's like, so from literally just destroying your vehicle with an $80 residual check to now, I mean, just a world difference. I mean, within, you said 10 months, right? You had your first $10,000 month. And then it has just continued. I mean, you guys have not plateaued. I mean, you guys have just continued to achieve more and more, you know, both in terms of automation and in terms of, you know, revenue and team growth. And it's just been really cool, of course, to see what you guys have been up to. So again, if you guys want to learn, you know, if you guys want to keep doing it old school, you know, then, you know, step 1, acquire babies. You know, step 2, go out in public. They're very attractive and magnetic. You know, step 3, hopefully profit. Or you can grab a copy of Magnetic Sponsoring. Go to magneticsponsoring.com. You can pick it up for free plus shipping. What you got to do is pay shipping, and this really gets into, so what's cool is just like how babies are magnetic, right? This gets into the like fundamental, like deep, because we always say this, right? It's a people business, right?
Yeah.
Well, you really need to know, like, this book gets into the deep, like, interpersonal dynamics of interacting with people, and how do you actually become a very attractive, magnetic person who is radiating value and has people literally wanting to hear more about what you have to offer. How do you have more people literally coming to you interested, right? Versus chasing people down, you know, kind of scaring people off with your energy. You know, they're like, "Whoa, I don't know what's going on," but that is certainly not. It's not magnetic.
Get your baby away from me. I want no part of this.
So, what's cool is, you know, even though this material has been around for a while, it's timeless. I mean, these things until the end of time, right? There are some systems, of course, you're going to learn about that are kind of unique to our era and the way that you can set things up and kind of leverage your business in an online way. So that's in here. But I mean, a significant portion of this book, I mean, will literally work in 1,000 years, right? I mean, it's like stuff, you could wind back in time, you could go forward in time. This is still going to apply because it's really getting into the deep psychology of how this works and how to be effective if you're selling something.
Well, and I remember thinking, like, you know, you always hear people saying, oh, you know, email is going to die out. You know, nobody's going to be using emails anymore because of the way that we do that. And it's funny because people still use emails just as much, you know, for a way of communication. And you take a look at old school network marketing. It's still really, really big, and that's fine, because I think what magnetic sponsoring is there's a way to combine both worlds where you can still be personal, build relationships, but in a more pre-qualified way. And so this is going to be something that it's going to last forever. It's not going to disappear, you know. And what's funny is, if you think about it, like, this really started, like you said, 2005, 2006. It's already 13 years in, roughly. And we still haven't even scratched the surface in the way that network marketers or even online entrepreneurs build their business. And so, you know, me and Cari, when we got into this, we just realized that we needed to take a step back instead of just keep trying to push, because we were in a desperate situation. Me and Cari never ever wanted to work from a place of desperation, meaning that we just made decisions because I needed money now. Even though we needed money now, believe me, if anybody needed money now, me and Cari understood what that was. And a lot of people, because a lot of people see like what we've done now, and it's a matter of, oh, well, Whit and Cari don't get it because here's where I'm at and here's where they're at. Believe me, we get it. We get what it's like to struggle and build, to not have money, living in in-laws' basements just because I couldn't afford rent anyways, even if I wanted to do it. We realized that we needed to take a step back and actually learn skill sets. If we did not learn skill sets, we were just going to continue to drive, make horrible decisions in our business just because I needed more money. Once we took the money piece out of it and we just started to focus on, hey, I just want to get better. Like I want to better myself in my skill sets. That's when everything changed for me. Money didn't matter anymore. Getting a sell didn't matter anymore. We just strictly started focusing on value and getting content out there and using attraction marketing. And that's what made the big difference for us, is because we moved everything else aside and took it out and just focused on things that we needed to focus on. And all of a sudden, all those things started to follow. The money started to follow. The growth started to follow. The people started to follow. And it's just because we learned a lot of that through, attraction marketing, and essentially, I guess where magnetic sponsoring kind of kicked it all off. It just it brought in a new wave for people like me and Cari to really leverage that. And the cool thing is now we're starting to see it duplicate not only in our own business, but through a lot of other people's businesses. And that's exciting to see too, because it's not just happening with us. It's happening across the board with a lot of people that are applying those skill sets.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to mention
the baby. He's not so much a baby anymore. Now they're out there killing each other while we're on Facebook Live.
Yeah. I dropped mine off with the grandparents for this occasion. Otherwise, I'd be in the exact same position. What's cool is, again, I love how, what was just talking about, really focusing on those skill sets, because sure, there are things that will change. There are platforms that will change. I just saw a headline yesterday about how, Instagram is really ascendant and Facebook is kind of plateauing. But you know what, when you have an audience and you have a relationship with that audience, that stuff doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's totally irrelevant, because when you get to the fundamental principles of what makes all this work, when you understand people and you understand the concept of value, that stuff doesn't matter. And sure, we've been seeing headlines for years about how, email is dying. But guess what, guys? Because this is something I actually follow. Celebrities are starting email lists. Big brands are starting email lists and communicating with the people in their lists in a very one-on-one and a very personal way, in the exact way that it's being taught here. Okay, they're trying to get away from communicating in the way that they used to, right? Which is just push, sale. And now they're starting to really try and cultivate relationships, because that's what this is all about. And when you understand that, you understand the principles here. I'll give you guys a little teaser about one of the things you're going to learn. One of the fundamental principles here is build a list, which you could really just say an audience, build a relationship with that list, and then market solutions to that list, right? Like that's one of the huge things you're going to learn. And that is fundamental, guys. And it's not just us that are doing it. I mean, literally it's celebrities, it's huge brands, and they're all, I mean, it literally, like GE has some amazing lists. Okay. The people who make your dishwasher, the people who make jet engines, you can get on a list, and actually, what they're trying to do is humanize the brand. They're trying to communicate in the kind of way that we're talking about communicating here. Same thing. I mean, it's just like, this stuff is very timely. It absolutely works, and it's not going away. And if you want to, if you really want to know how to build your business in today's age, this is the way to do it. This is the 21st century method of building your business, building your network, growing your team. It's all right here. magneticsponsoring.com, guys. We're going to sign off in just a second, but I want to give you guys one more opportunity.
Yes.
Tonight at midnight Eastern, right? So if you're on the West Coast, know that it might sneak up on you.
It will.
Yeah.
But tonight, midnight Eastern is going to be your final opportunity to grab your copy. Will we sell it again in the future? Yes, we will. I can't promise you when, though, and I can say that for a free plus shipping offer, go ahead and get your copy now, because I'm not sure when we're going to do our next print run. So
because making babies is a lot more expensive, so you might as well just get a book.
Yeah, absolutely. It is expensive.
I mean, it's funner, but I mean,
yeah.
Of course.
It is what it is. I mean,
but, you know, then you got to take them places, and I mean, it's just the leverage is just not. It's
not there.
It's not. Just get your book.
Just get the book. All you got to pay is shipping. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, magneticsponsoring.com. Whit, Cari, it's been a pleasure. Any final words for folks?
You know, it really just comes down to making a choice. You know, making a choice. If you're happy where you're at, you're killing it, you're crushing it where you're at, that's great. But is that going to continue forever? And if you're not crushing it where you're at, if you're not happy, it's a free plus shipping book, right? I mean, what are you out other than, what is it, $6-7 for shipping? Like, you know, it's that one choice that we made 3.5 years ago that completely changed our circumstances and completely changed where we're at. So that now, you know, we wake up in the morning and we have 3-4 commission emails that have come through while we were sleeping. Yeah. You know, we're at Disneyland and commissions keep rolling in while we're enjoying the very brand new Star Wars ride with our 2 little boys.
Yeah.
You know, it's having the leverage of attraction marketing is really what has changed our life.
Yep.
It really has.
Absolutely.
And it works for anyone, regardless of who you are, where you're from, what your circumstances are now. It just comes down to a choice of making that change.
And for me, it's about put skepticism aside, because there's so many people out there that it's just like, everybody's out to get me. I mean, come on, we've been building our business online for 3 years, and really, I mean, there are times, I'm not going to say that it hasn't happened, but there hasn't been a lot of times where people are just out to get you, just to take your money, just to do whatever. Like, this is a chance for you to put that aside and actually learn from people, respectable people, like that have amazing reputations and credibility in using attraction marketing, magnetic sponsoring, to grow their business, to grow their teams and stuff like that. Like, this is a chance for anybody that's going to be watching this, if they're sitting here and just, you know, man, I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm afraid of going down this trail and it not working. I mean, seriously, what do you have to lose? To check something out, to go through the process. And I mean, because here's the thing, you can sit there and worry all the day long about that. It's still not going to change your situation if you keep yourself safe inside your bubble right now, without just taking that kind of leap of faith and just saying, you know, I'm gonna check something out. I'm gonna walk through the process. I'm gonna see where it takes me, and just having that trust that you're gonna end up, even if it, you know, let's say nothing does work out, it's probably gonna lead you down a path that's gonna lead you into something else that maybe will work out. And that's the beauty part about what me and Cari found is we're willing to walk down paths to see where it's going to take us. Because you never ever have to backtrack on a path. You can just pivot, because there's always going to be a fork in the road where you can go down another path that's going to lead you somewhere else. And that's really what you have in front of you right now, is that fork in the road that you can choose to go down. Just try keep figuring it out yourself, or take a little bit of skill and start to learn a little bit of skill set and understanding, so that way you have a better path to go down. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And also, my last thought is, I love you guys mentioned that this works for anyone, anywhere. I mean, guys, we have folks that are crushing it, building huge teams in Asia. We have, I mean, some awesome
South Africa, like Europe, Australia.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere. So yes, this can and absolutely will work for you if you put it into practice. Magneticsponsoring.com, guys. Free plus shipping. Today is your last day to get in on the first print run of the revised and expanded edition. I highly recommend you check it out. And Whit and Cari, thanks so much. I really appreciate you hopping on. It's always a pleasure. I love hearing your story, and you guys are awesome. So thank you.
We love hanging out with you, Andrew, and everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Great to see you all.
Wish we could give all the shout outs, but
I know there's a lot of people that were commenting.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, everyone, we'll see you around the community.
Yes.
Magneticsponsoring.com. Have a great day, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.